Hey, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and I'm pretty excited about our class today. We're gonna have a big emphasis on breath. No props needed, but as always, if you like to have any props, like I like to have my blocks, please have them. And make your way into any position that you like to check in with your breath. So seated, reclined, child's pose, whatever is calling your name, and make your way there and settle in by wiggling into that space where we'll close our eyes as we start to tap into our Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, letting go of any thoughts or worries so that you can focus your mind on your practice. So as we inhale, we'll feel the space right below the navel start to lift. As it draws upward, we'll feel an expansion through the belly, the side bodies, the rib cage, and our breath draws all the way up to where it lifts the collarbones. And then on our exhalation, we're gonna feel our belly button draw in towards the spine, allowing us to use all three parts of the lungs. Our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath, so you're gonna hear snoring like sound in the back of the throat, kind of like you're fogging up a mirror with your nose. So you wanna be able to hear your breath, particularly today, because we'll be utilizing it even more so than we do usually. So see if you can create a rhythm for yourself where you inhale to the count of 3, 4, 5, 6, exhaling the same, or maybe make that exhalation longer. And while you're tuning in, we are in the niyamas. So that is the second of the 8 limbs of yoga. It is our inner practices and our self-relationship. And our topic is the first part of that, because there's 5 different parts, which is Saucha, which often translates to cleanliness. And we are using it as a definition of I create clarity. Our focus this week is breath as a clean slate. So with every breath, we have a reset. With every exhale, a release. Every inhale is a chance to begin again. So today, we practice using the breath as a clean slate, an opportunity to reset again and again and again. And like wonderful thought, because so helpful in our practice, but so helpful all the time, really. It's like if we think about each new breath as another reset, that's pretty cool. And keep in mind, as long as you're breathing on your mat, you're doing yoga. On your next inhale, find some movement. So depending on where you are, that could look like different things. Let's just be in a seated position. So we'll come into our seat where we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice, which might be Saucha, or I create clarity by using my breath as a clean slate, or maybe something else comes to mind that speaks to you in this moment. Please honor that. And we'll take another big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. And then when you're ready, we'll make our way to a tabletop position. So we'll come onto our hands and knees. Pups optional, or not optional in this case, right flannel. And so we'll find some little movements from side to side, maybe some cat-cow movements. We're eventually gonna make our way to our down dog. So you can tuck those toes under, lifting up the hips nice and high, maybe finding some movement here. So maybe bending the knees as you move your hips from side to side, or you can start to bicycle the legs out. Full breath in. Exhale, soften those knees. We'll gaze forward as we just walk ourselves to the front of our mat. So we'll separate our feet about hip distance apart, or 2 fists in between the feet. Could also be wider than that. I know I prefer wider. And you might reach for opposite elbows. You might bring the arms behind the back. You might walk your hands from side to side. And just check in with your breath as you come into this shape. So big inhales and exhales through the nose. One more big breath in. Exhale, release any arm variation you have, and let's start to bring our feet in towards one another. Soften those knees as we roll it all the way up. And then we can reach those arms up and back, and then hands can come to heart center. We'll work those shoulders up, back, and down as we really lift up through the chest. And then as we inhale, arms reach, gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. And then plant the hands as you step your left foot back. Maybe you bring your blocks into the equation if that's available to you. And we're just gonna start to shift forward and back from runners to a pyramid-like pose. So just move at the pace that works for you. Next time that you shift it forward, Go ahead and plant the hands and come into your one-legged down dog. So we'll open up the hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling. Stay here, so start to make some circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. And then on our inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, knee draws the nose as we bring that foot all the way through. And then maybe you have a prop as we come into our half moon. So right away, we're coming into a balance as we lift up that left arm and leg. Opening it up to the side, so really flexing through that foot. Big breath in here. And then exhale, lower the left hand down. Take a big step back and lower your back knee as we come into a half splits with a twist. So left hand is down, right arm is up. Opening up to the right. Big breath in here. Exhale, rebend that knee, and then bring the hand down so that we can come into a tabletop position right here, where we'll move into half camel. So I've got my toes tucked under, and we'll bring that left hand to the small of our back as we reach the right arm up, or maybe there's space to reach for that heel. Either way, we're pushing those hips forward and lifting up through the heart as our gaze can either go up towards the fingertips, or we might gaze towards our back heel. Big breath in. Exhale, and then switch it out. So right hand to the small of the back as the left arm reaches up, or maybe you find that heel as you come into your half camel, really pushing those hips forward. Big breath in. As we exhale, lower the left forearm down, and our right hand is going to come in line with that elbow. So it looks like this. This is what I call funky arms. And we're going to come into a funky arm plank. So we're going to lift up those legs. You always have the option of lowering the knees and still pushing the floor away. So know that option's available to you. And you can't see my right arm, but my elbow is really tucked into my side like a chaturanga arm. So that is pretty key here. Big breath here. Exhale, lower the hips. So we're coming to funky arm sphinx. So we're really working those shoulders back as we lift up through our gaze and chest. Can put a little bit of a wiggle so that we're not squeezing the behind there. Big breath in. Exhale. And then tuck those toes under. Keep your funky arms as you come into this dolphin pose. So we're really pushing our chest towards our thighs here. We're really drawing that right elbow back. Big breath in. And then on your exhale, lower the knees down, and we'll extend our left arm forward and our right leg back as we come into this spinal balance. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hand, but bring that knee in towards your nose. So we can bring that foot all the way through, and we're coming into our full crescent pose. So full Anjaneyasana. Arms will reach up overhead. Shoulders can drop down as we lift up through the chest. And this is the first time here, maybe find a little bit of a bounce. We'll hold it here as we take a full inhale. Exhale. And then open it up to your warrior two. So hips are square towards the side of your mat, maybe palms face up here. Really strong straight back leg as we take a full breath in. And exhale. Gaze to the side of your mat, heels and toes out for goddess with eagle arms. So right arm is underneath. We can reach for opposite shoulders, or we could wrap the arms around each other. And we can always find movement here from side to side. Take a big breath in. Exhale. And then we'll release for warrior two to the back of our mat. So same situation. We have a really strong and straight back leg as we gaze past those left fingertips. Inhale. Exhale. And then we take our reverse warrior. So legs stay the same as we reach up and over. So continue to think about bending that forward knee as we take a big breath in here. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down. And we'll find our plank pose nice and strong. So really spreading through the fingers really wide. Weight draws forward as we inhale. Exhale, lowering all the way onto our bellies. And we'll bring the tops of the feet into the mat. Hands are underneath our shoulders. As we inhale, lifting up into our cobra pose. Exhale, we lower. We'll start to move through these at the pace of our breath. Feel free to change up anything, like maybe coming onto your fingertips in a wide stance. And then maybe coming into some shoulder dips here. Next time you lower that head down, go ahead and make your way into your down dog, lifting up both hips. Full breath in. Exhale, soften the knees, gazing forward as we step or float. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse swan dive all the way up, reach it up and back. Exhale, come into your forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen, and then we'll plant the hands as we step the right foot back, coming into our winner's lunge. So I'm going to take my blocks from the other side of my mat so that they're here for me, and I'm going to shift forward and back, seeing what's going on here. It may be a completely different experience. Next time we shift it forward, plant the hands, one-legged down dog, so open up through the hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling. Stay here, start to make some circles, going in one direction, going in the other direction. And as we inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose, and we'll bring that foot in between our hands as we set up for our half moon. So we're going to lift up that right arm and leg, opening it up towards the side. Really extending through that right heel. Big breath in. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Take a big step back and then lower that back knee down as you work your way into that half splits with a twist. So right arm is down, left arm is up as we twist towards the side. Inhale. Exhale, rebend that knee. Bring the hands down and the knees come together. And we set up for that half camel. So my toes are tucked. As I lift up the left arm, either bring that hand to the small of our back or our heel, really pushing those hips forward. Inhale. Exhale, switch it out. Left arm down, right arm up. Still pushing forward. Inhale. Exhale, bring your right forearm down. And then bring your left hand to be in line with that elbow. So creating those funky arms. So that left elbow is really tucked in close to your side as we come into our funky armed plank pose. So again, always having the option of lowering the knees, but keeping a long neck as you gaze past the mat. Big breath in. Exhale, lowering those hips, finding this variation of Sphinx pose. I'm kicking my book. We'll bring those shoulders back as you lift up through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, tuck those toes under. Lift up those hips, coming into this variation of dolphin pose with our funky arms. Big breath in. Exhale, lower the knees, spinal balance. So we'll reach the right arm forward and the left leg back, reaching those opposing directions. Getting nice and long here. Inhale. Exhale, palm lowers as that knee draws into nose. We'll bring that foot all the way through as we come into our crescent pose. So first time on this side, so we might find a little bit of a bounce here. Shoulders are down as we lift up through the chest. Take a big breath in. Exhale. And then come into your warrior two. So hips are square towards the side of the mat, maybe palms face up here. Checking in with your alignment. Since we actually have been here on both sides, we'll take a full breath in. Exhale. Gaze to the side, heels and toes out. Goddess, this time eagle arms with the left arm underneath, so we can reach for opposite shoulders or wrap the arms around. Weight draws into the heels. Big breath in. Exhale. We'll release for warrior two towards the front of our mat. And we'll take a big breath in here. Exhale. Inhale, we reverse as we reach it back. Exhale, cartwheel it down. And we'll meet in our plank pose, where we can lower with muscle, maybe to a hover this time, chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or maybe up dog. And then exhaling into our down dog. And we'll take a full breath in here. Exhale, soften the knees, gazing forward as we step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse. Reach it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant, gaze stays forward as we step or float it back. Moving through this vinyasa, we're going right to down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, soften the knees, gaze forward as you step or float. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthening. Hands plant as we step or float it back. Making our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. How we doing? That is our warm-up for today, which means you've got most of the practice in the bag, trust me there. You're new to my practice. We have two main sequences, which I call peanut butter and jelly. So most of the poses, sometimes all of the poses, in this instance, definitely all the poses for peanut butter, are going to be in the warm-up, so you've already done them. The difference is, since our emphasis is so much on breath and creating that clean slate, we're gonna go through each of the poses in peanut butter, the first time with 3 breaths, the second time with 2 breaths, and the last time, sort of, with 1 breath. And then when we go into peanut butter and jelly, we will move 1 breath, 1 posture. So jelly, we do it 3 times too, but we won't have that many breaths. And then we bring them together, which is my favorite part of the practice. It's peanut butter and jelly time, which you're always so ready for because it's so delicious. So what do you say? Are we ready to go into peanut butter today? Yes, cool. So let's meet in our down dog. We're practicing Saucha. So we're creating clarity by using our breath as a clean slate. From that down dog, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through for crescent pose. So arms will reach up overhead, shoulders draw down as we lift up through the chest, and we breathe here for a big inhale. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale, coming into our warrior 2, where we'll inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, gaze to the side. We'll come into our goddess with our eagle arms. Right arm is underneath. And we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, warrior 2 to the back, where we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Option to take your vinyasa, or you can go right to down dog, yogi's choice. And we'll go right into our left side. So inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through, coming into our crescent pose, where we breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale to our warrior 2, where we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, gaze to the side, goddess with the left arm underneath, and we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, warrior 2 to the front, where we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. We exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Option to take that vinyasa or not, which means we've made it to 2 breaths. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we'll bring it through for crescent pose as we inhale. Exhale. We inhale. Exhale, open it up to warrior 2, where we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, gaze to the side. Goddess with the right arm underneath. We inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 2 to the back, where we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reverse. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel it down, making our way to our down dog, however you choose. And then inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through for crescent pose as we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, open it up to warrior 2 as we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, gaze to the side. Goddess with the left arm underneath. We inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Warrior 2 to the front, where we inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale. Big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Option to move through the vinyasa or make your way to down dog. And we've made it to 1. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through. We inhale, crescent. Exhale, open it up to 2. We inhale. Exhale, goddess with the right arm underneath. We inhale. Exhale, warrior 2 to the back. We inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel it down, making your way to your down dog. And then it's time for the left. So inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through. Inhale, crescent. Exhale to 2. Inhale. Exhale, goddess with the left arm underneath. We inhale. Exhale, warrior 2 to the front. We inhale. Exhale, cartwheel it down, making our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. How we doing? That's peanut butter for today. I hope you're feeling so much lightness because the breath, when we really focus on it in this way, tends to bring in so much lightness, which will be super helpful if you're wanting to play because it's jelly time and jelly has some options to play, should you choose to do so. So, what do you say? Huh? You ready? Are you ready for that jelly? Let's do it. So, we're coming into down dog. Yes, again. And yeah, we're practicing Saucha. So we're creating clarity by using our breath as a clean slate. So let's go. From our down dog, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we'll bring it through. And we're coming into our half moon. So maybe we have a prop there for us as we extend through that left leg. Big breath in. Exhale, bring that hand down, big step back. Lowering the back knee as we come into our half splits twist. So we're reaching that right arm up. Inhale. Exhale, rebend that knee, bringing the right hand down, and then knees come together. And then we'll come into our half camel. So right arm is up. Left hand comes to the small of the back or to your heel. And then we switch it out. Left arm is up, right arm is down. And then on our exhale, we bring our left forearm down and our right hand is in line with that elbow for our funky arms, which means we can do what we did in our warm up. So we can come into that plank pose. We can also come into a dolphin, Or maybe it's playtime. So I'm gonna have two different options for play, which is a little bit different from most of the time in jelly. Usually it's just one. But I feel like with all this breath, maybe we see what happens. So the first one is funky armed crow. So we're gonna use our little shelf, which is our right arm here, and then we'll bring that left knee in to meet the other tricep and see if you can bring your toes together. So that is our first option. We'll do the second one in round 2, but see what works for you. Might be easiest to bring both knees onto the triceps at the same time and then start to hinge forward, pushing the floor away to bring those big toes together. So that way you kind of have an area where you know that there's that connection between the big toes, so you're not feeling like your feet are flailing in different directions. So I feel like that's the easiest. I'll show you one more time facing forward because it's really important to have this chaturanga arm as you bring the knees in and then lift up. And if it's not working today, that's okay. The other options are harder. And we just make our way to down dog. That is all for jelly. So make your way there. Inhale, lift up the left leg. Exhale, we'll bring it through as we come into our half moon, opening it up towards the right. Really flexing through that foot as we inhale. Exhale, bring that right hand down, take a big step back, and then we find that half splits twist. Reaching that left arm up. Oh, that feels nice. Exhale, we'll rebend that knee, and then we bring our knees together as we come into our half camel. So we'll bring our left arm up as our right arm comes down. And then our right arm comes up as our left arm comes down. And then we bring that right forearm down and left hand in line. So finding our funky arms here. So we can play with that plank. We can play with the dolphin variation. Or if you want to play with your crow, we'll bring those knees in. I do think it's easier to just have the knees onto the triceps and see if you can shift forward and bring those big toes together. You want to keep that gaze lifted. We have a tendency to want to look at our hands all the time, but our head is heavy. So if we're bringing our gaze there, we start to naturally go down a little bit more. So you're going to feel an extra lift because with the funky arms, since that forearm is down, you're going to feel like you're basically kissing the ground anyway. So it's important to keep that head lifted so that you can shift forward and not here, because then it'll feel like you're smelling a mat. And no one wants to smell their mat, right? I'm guessing. All right. Now we'll go right back to our down dog. So step it back to down dog. And it's round 2, right leg lifts. Exhale, we'll bring it through as we come into our half moon. And then we lower it down. Back knee lowers as we come into our splits twist, or half splits twist. And then we bring it back. And then we find our half camel, right arm up, half camel, left arm up, and then left arm comes down, right hand is in line for our funky arms. So one more opportunity to play. It's a little bit of a mixture between a forearm balance and a headstand. It could very well be a headstand. You could have your head down, but maybe see if you can start out with it not being down. So again, I'm using this arm as a shelf, this time for reals. And then I'm trying to reach that left leg up towards the ceiling. So yeah, I can have my head down right here, or I can have it lifted. See what happens. It's playtime. And if it's not playtime, it's just like, what if I try just inching up closer and see what happens? See if you can just bring one leg onto it. And once you have that, maybe you then start to reach the other leg up. And we always have a favorite side, right? So maybe this isn't your favorite side. Maybe it's the next side. So let's come to down dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through. Coming into our half moon. Big breath in. Exhale, lower it down. We're coming into our half splits twist. And then we bring it back forward. Coming into our half camel. That's what that's called. And then half camel. And then right arm is down as left hand is in line with that elbow. So We can walk it up. If we're playing with this variation, we're bringing that knee into it and then working that right leg up towards the ceiling. So, see what happens. It's worth a play. But keep in mind that as you're crawling, you're still pushing the floor away so much. And that's so key, because if the moment I'm not pushing away, that's the moment I face plant. And no one really likes a face plant. Interesting. So let's make our way to down dog. Round 3, we're just gonna go straight through the other things. No funky arms at all. Nothing funky at all. So come into your down dog, right leg lifts. Exhale, we'll bring it through. Half moon. And then we step it back. Half splits twist. We bring it back forward. And then we find our half camel. Our half camel. And then hands come down for down dog. Left leg lifts. We bring it through. Half moon. It keeps knocking over my blocks. Big step back. Half splits twist. Come back forward. Bring that together, and then left arm is up. And then right arm is up. And then we have the hands down for down dog. Or any resting position of choice. Because guess what time it is now? It's peanut butter and jelly time. You ready for this? I think you are. You've done it so many times and with so many more breaths. So get your drink of water or whatever else you're drinking. Ooh, that was some good sound there. Towel off. Tell yourself that you're a badass. Do all the little rituals you need to get your butt to down dog right now. Because we're creating clarity by allowing our breath to create a clean slate for us. So we're starting over again and again and again with each breath. So who's with me? Down dog. All right, down dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through for crescent pose. We inhale. Exhale, opening it up to 2. Inhale, goddess with the right arm underneath. Exhale, warrior 2 to the back. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, we'll cartwheel it down and we'll lift up that left leg as we inhale. Exhale, bring it through, half moon. From that half moon, we step it all the way back for our twisted half splits. Left arm is up. And then we bring it back forward as we bring the legs together. And then left arm up for half camel. Right arm up for half camel. And then we bring those hands down and we find our down dog, which means the first side is done. Left leg lifts. Exhale, we bring it through. Crescent pose on the inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, goddess, left arm underneath. Exhale, warrior 2 to the front. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel it down. And we'll reach that right leg up, one-legged down dog. We bring it through for our half moon, opening it up towards that long edge of the mat. Exhale, step it back as we come into that half splits twist. And then we bring it back forward, finding our all fours where we lift up the right arm, half camel. And we reach up the left arm for half camel. And then we can bring those hands down, finding our down dog or any resting pose because you did it. So proud of you. Let's find our way to a seat. And in that seat, we're slowing our breath down. We're checking in with the body. And we're closing our eyes to let all of this sink in for a moment. And you can place your hands down onto your knees where you're feeling more, if you need more grounding. If you need to receive more, you can bring your palms to where they face up. And just slow down your breath. And as you do so, have a big smile on your face because you did so amazing. Be so proud of yourself. And feel free to make this your final pose. If you prefer coming into a reclined space for what I would consider more of a true Shavasana, then make your way there. Either way is perfect. Just know as you come into this final resting space, that it's so important to have so much gratitude for showing up to your mat today, so much gratitude for all the hard work that you just put in, and so much gratitude for this feeling that you created through those things, which is amazing. You're amazing. So take a moment to be proud of yourself. Know that I'm so proud of you. And then just allow the breath to be soft and your body to be still. Shavasana. As always, stay here as long as you like, but if you are ready to go, you can start to invite small movements into the body, wiggling the fingertips and the toes. If you aren't already, we'll all make our way to our seated position of choice, where we'll bring our hands together at our heart center. Now, and thank you all so very much for joining me in class. Thank you for spending this time with me. It means the world to me to share this beautiful practice with you, and keep creating clarity through using your breath as a blank slate, because the world is hard. So when things become hard, tune into your breath. When we tune into our breath, we are so present, and that is so much better than than those thoughts that can just show up and actually really mean nothing, be a bunch of lies. So be true to yourself, be present. I love you. Until next time, namaste.